Welcome into Extra Time. We can't get away from it, can we? Is football now worse than it was without VAR?
Yes. Even though I like VAR-ish. Not recently. Not the English VAR.
Yeah.
World Cup VAR, I liked World Cup VAR. But now I am tumbling a little bit with it. Just me.
I think because they're making a mess of it. I mean, it seems to be simple on the face of it, but I don't know how you mess it up that badly that it's taken away from the game.
Gab?
Talking about football, if you're talking about the Premier League, yeah, they've really screwed it up quite royally. We kind of warned it at the start of the season with all this high bar, no on-field reviews nonsense. Then the last couple of weeks, it seems that they decided to go off in their own direction, and VAR's having issues elsewhere. But I think the main takeaway for me is what Craig alluded to when he talked about World Cup VAR. Now, I'm sure he was talking about the Men's World Cup VAR because, of course, Women's World Cup was a different story. But the bottom line is, if you have very good referees, then it becomes a lot easier for VAR to do its job well. And at the World Cup, we had exceptional referees. If you don't have good referees and you've got screwed up VAR and you're so terrified by what the certain parts of the media and certain expos on television are going to say who just want to hate everything before it's even implemented, and you keep changing your mind about how you're going to implement it, yeah, then you got a problem.
And there was no Premier League referees at the World Cup.
No. That tells you a lot.
And head of Mike Riley been a bit arrogant about how they're going to operate it, and there's always going to be dividing points, but they are making such a mess of it. It's hard to fathom out how you can make such a mess of it. It's hard.
Gab, Wenger to Bayern Munich?
Oh, goodness. Wow. Well, he certainly wants to get back in. And of course, Arsene Wenger spricht Deutsch. He speaks German. So he would tick that box. I'm not sure about this simply because Arsene Wenger would never get the degree of control that he had at Arsenal. He would never get that at Bayern Munich. Now, you could say, well, maybe Wenger feels like he doesn't need that degree of control. But I don't know. I think if he does have one last project in it, it's got to be one of those things where he is the boss. And if he goes to Bayern, he ain't going to be the boss. Nobody gets to be the boss at Bayern except for Uli Hoeneß.
I wouldn't have an issue with that. Because I never felt Wenger became a bad manager. I felt he became a stale manager at Arsenal. And I'd been there and had great success, but it was all a bit stale and it was all changing a bit for him. But given a decent squad, and that's, Bayern Munich are more than a decent squad. They're maybe not the best, but they're more than decent. I don't have an issue with that, with his experience and know-how.
I just can't see Arsene Wenger on the sidelines again. I think upstairs, director of football making that type and that level of decision. I just don't see him coaching.
Craig or Shaka, as a player, have you ever gone into a game, seen the referee selection and thought this referee seems to always have it out for my team? Yeah?
Yes, many times.
Was it you being paranoid?
No. Not my team. No, not my team. No, not necessarily my team. Maybe me. Maybe I had a run in with a few referees. Once in Scotland, I thought it was a team thing.
Really?
Yeah.
It was anti-Celtic?
Yeah, I didn't find it very often. I think only once. One referee, I have to say, most of the referees I came across refereed the game just based on the criteria in front of them. There was only one, and I won't mention his name, but there was only one in Scotland that I felt at one point was refereeing the game differently than it should have been, for the reasons that fans in Scotland get paranoid about, was like supporting other clubs. It was only once that happened in Scotland, but in England I just felt, I used to get annoyed if I felt I was getting a bad referee, because I'm getting off to a bad start before the game started. I'm off to a bad start on the Friday or the Thursday. Yeah. Because I already know, just from my personality, that I'm already going to have my fight with him as well as.
How would you describe your personality, Craig?
little fiery at times. Not as much as it used to be. I used to get really passionate on the field, and the referees bore the brunt of that. Not always, and it wasn't always their fault.
Now it's producers.
Bloody producer. Sends another email out.
Shaka, I can't imagine it bothered you as much.
No, it didn't bother me as much. But you do kind of remember if a referee had a bad game against you, previous time.
Right.
And then straight away in the tunnel, you say, listen, remember last time we did kind of thing. And it just, but it wasn't even, I'll say, no, as far as I was concerned, it didn't spill out into anything more.
There was one referee I must have, and God rest his soul, he's not around anymore, in Scotland. And he used to referee, back in the day, before I had returned to Scotland, he used to referee with my dad.
Right.
Or my dad had been an assistant, or a linesman he called it then, but as assistant now. He'd been an assistant with this referee on games in previous years. And then I returned to Scotland for Celtic, and this gentleman was refereeing. And I remember one of the games, I absolutely smashed somebody out of the field and came nowhere near the ball. And he basically said, nothing to see here.
Yes! He gave you a pass. Nepotism working on his
I got away with more, and I should have got a booking. He might have gave a free kick, but it was a yellow card all day, and I think I might have been suspended for a fight or whatever. And I got away with a little bit more because my old boy had done game for this referee.
Very good. Any chance we can get Shakastrophic trending, but with an X, not an S, because Hislop is better than Granite any day.
Oh, man.
Kind of a backhanded compliment.
Yeah, but I'm taking it.
Yeah.
Compliments are hard to come by around
Chance
here,
we can get a Shaka.
But obviously Shaka's not your name. Neil is your name.
It's my second name. Shaka
So-
is my name. It's my second name.
But when
It's more breaking news to me, this.
How is that breaking news?
Shaka's not your name.
It's my second name. I'm Neil Shaka Hislop.
Is Shaka a proper name, or is Shaka a shortened name?
No, it's my proper name. It's.
when did you go from Neil to Shaka?
I've never used Neil.
Right.
My parents never called me Neil.
Well, why did they bother in the first place?
I don't know.
Right, we're going to name him.
My two brothers are the same.
What are you calling your boy? We're going to call him Neil, but we're not going to call him
My two brothers and I, we all go by our second names.
Yeah.
You'll have to ask my parents.
Yeah.
They've never called me anything but.
You got a middle name?
No.
It's something stupid, isn't it?
No.
Yeah, it is. What's your middle name?
Theodora, something like that, isn't it? Crawford. Is it Crawford? Daniel Crawford Thomas. Or is it Finlay?
It's
Finlay.
Craig.
How Finlay? You know what one of these is? Billy Connolly used to say they've got surnames first. Crawford and Finlay.
Oh, I see.
You get it? Posh.
We apologise for Crawford and Finlay.
Yeah, what name? Crawfords don't watch this. My middle name, yeah, I have got a middle name actually. But
I don't think I asked. I
you didn't ask. But in keeping my tradition, I'll use my first name first.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, good.
No, I'm not telling
I've
you.
always used my second. Go on, what's this? Go on, tell us. I want to know. It'll be on
I'm
YouTube.
sure Wikipedia.
Yeah, on YouTube.
It's not difficult. It's on my driving licence. You can't see it, can you?
Well, why do we want to see? You could just tell us.
William,
After
after my granddad, whose name was Bill.
There you had to put that in. Gab,
What are you laughing at?
Gab, what's your middle name?
Like you, I don't have one, but man, I thought that William bit was.
I don't believe anybody who
pretty
says a dog middle name.
anticlimactic there.
It was. I tell you what, that was almost as bad a story as the one Shaq told Dan and I before we came on air about how much weight he lost.
£6 in a month.
He stood
2
up.
weeks.
Going on about
2
that
weeks.
diet
He stood
That
up.
was so good. I'm so proud.
He was at his desk and I was at my desk prepping the show.
What prep were you doing?
All right, I was watching.
I like how you're
Watching Red Zone.
Prep of the show.
I was watching the Golf Channel, and he stood up, didn't he? And he went,
Yeah. He was very
I have an
proud.
announcement.
"Announcement, then, mate, how much weight I've lost?" And I was like, £12.
Yeah,
What?
that's what we were guessing.
We were guessing just under a stone.
219 you started at. And
Yeah.
We both went to 07.
Which is a ridiculous guess.
Now that you've asked, my kids have got no middle name either. I can't. So when my kids were born, I said to my missus, "Forget all this middle name nonsense."
Why?
I don't see the point. I just don't see the point.
I
So I just went, they've all got short names.
I once worked with a guy who
got short names.
I once worked with a
Saves
guy.
time.
I once worked with a guy who had no middle name, and the government said he had to have a middle initial, so he could differentiate between him and another.
They do that at work, don't they? If you don't have a middle name, they give you X if
Who
there's
does?
somebody else in the company.
Is that
Really?
why Niko's got one?
Yes.
Of all the people. Of all the people that needed
I thought
any more complication.
legally you had to at least have a middle initial.
No.
No.
I don't. My
Okay.
three.
I
I've
learned
got
something
three.
new today.
Three. None of
He's got 3.
None. And I said to her, 0 middle names. She was like, oh, no. Bobbins.
Something to take a stand. Right, last one.
Short names can't be shortened.
No.
They can't have that.
My contribution to parenting.
Oh. Gap.
No, I was just gonna when I go back to the anticlimactic nature of Craig's middle name because 2 of my favorite footballing Scots both have middle names that are last names, right? Alexander Chapman Ferguson and Kenneth Matheson Dalglish. I actually know their middle names. Now that I know Craig's middle name, not quite the same thing.
Bill.
No disrespect.
I told you that at a bar in Glasgow many years ago. You forgot.
Oh.
Forgot.
Probably.
Which is normally goes the other way round.
Who cares about middle names?
I don't think anyone does. It was just a conversation because we're talking about.
Well, I mean, most people are. So, what's your brother's name? I know it's Hislop. Clearly.
So I've got Terence Kona is my second brother, and Brian Cali. So they go by Kona and Cali.
Yeah.
Interesting. It's an interesting technique.
Yeah, Donaldson's the same. His first name's not Mark.
Is it not?
No, it's something else. I can't remember what it is.
Is that with a D? You know what I'm... Seriously?
Yeah.
He's not. I'll get to the bottom of this.
There you go. Right.
Is he changing it now? He does Serie A. Is he changing it to some Italian name to try and fit in a little bit? Could be. Marco Donaldson. That's terrible, isn't it? Marco Donaldson. Is it? Is that to fit in with Bonetti? Bonetti said to him, "You're not Italian enough. You've got to be Italian to cover this.
You've got to
league.
sort it out.
You've got to have something in you."
What's his baseball name? He's got to have a baseball name too then.
But, yeah.
It's getting very insular.
I didn't know that though.
Yes. Yeah.
Why would you do that?
I don't know, like him.
Well, why would you call yourself Mark if that wasn't your name?
I think it's his middle name.
Another boring story.
Now.
People don't even know who you're talking about.
No, that's why I mentioned it briefly and you kept going on about it.
Look him up, big fella.
Now, hashtag rock, paper, scissors challenge. Can reigning champion Dan, because I beat you last week, Shaq, take on Craig? Do you know how to play rock, paper, scissors?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll go on 4.
So 1, 2, 3, shoot.
Yeah.
Okay, right, ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Right, come on then. You've got to use your hands.
Yeah, I know, yeah. Come on,
I don't know where this is going to
no,
go.
it's more, I'm just going.
Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3.
I win. I wrapped the rock.
So Craig is now reading.
Craig
rock, paper,
William
scissors,
Burley
champion.
I know
is the reigning champion.
Wally. Hey,
Bill Burley.
Wally.
Go on, Bill Burley.
Craig Willie Burley.
Billy Burley.
Craig Willie Burley here tomorrow. Yes, he will. As will Peter Walton. Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPNFC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN Plus.